At 9:17 on a Saturday morning, Marcus Bell received a text message that would completely upend his life. It was from his bank and it said, "You have received a deposit to your account in the amount of $5 million." Marcus stared at the screen blankly. Then he laughed, not because anything was funny, but because Marcus knew he had only had $143.18 in his checking account after getting gas earlier that day. He read the message again. "You have received $5 million." He opened his banking app, and sure enough, his checking account read $5,143.18. Marcus dropped his phone, bent down, and kept staring at the screen while it was on the floor. Then he picked it back up. The money was still there. He refreshed the screen. It was still there. He logged out of his app and logged back in. It was all still there. He called his bank. A woman answered. "Thank you for calling Sterling National Bank. How may I assist you today?" Marcus swallowed. Um, yeah, my name is Marcus Bell, and I think there has been some sort of mistake in my account." "What kind of mistake, sir?" "I think someone may have accidentally deposited $5 million in my account." There was silence. Then the woman said, "I'm sorry, sir?" "There's $5 million in my account that wasn't there yesterday." Another silence. "Sir, what's your date of birth and social security number?" Marcus provided the information. "Well, Mr. Bell, I can assure you this is not the bank's error and that it's a legit transaction." "Are you sure about that?" The woman responded, "As sure as my name is Heather Finkman, sir." Marcus frowned but smiled as to be confused in the highest form and rubbed his head. "Okay, can you tell me who deposited this money?" "Unfortunately, no. I can confirm the funds were credited, but I don't have any identifying information for the depositor in the transaction records available to me." Marcus remained silent and still in disbelief. "Sir, you still there?" Yes. Yes, I am." "Is there anything else I can do for you today?" Um, no, that's it." "Okay, then. We appreciate you calling and banking with Sterling National. You have a wonderful day now." "Thanks. You too. Bye." Marcus started getting nervous because there was something the bank didn't know. Marcus wasn't exactly the kind of person who received $5 million. He was a 30-year-old delivery driver and made about $50K a year. He drove a 10-year-old sedan. He lived in a one-bedroom apartment in an urban neighborhood. And his biggest financial accomplishment that year had been successfully negotiating a payment plan with his electric company to satisfy the 2-month back balance he owed. For the next 20 minutes, he did absolutely nothing but stare at his balance, constantly refreshing his app to see if it would change. Then his best friend called. "Marcus, man, you will not believe what just happened to me." "Kevin, you will not believe what just happened to me." "Nah, bro. Someone just deposited $5 million into my account." Marcus froze. Now he was kind of scared and even more confused. "This morning?" "This morning, right? By an anonymous depositor? Bank says it's legit?" "Wait, how did you know that, Marcus?" "Because I received the same deposit for the same amount." "What? You say what now?" Marcus rubbed his head again in confusion. The situation was the strangest thing he'd ever experienced. "Yeah, man, same amount. I called the bank. They said it's legit." Kevin laughed. "Is someone pulling a stunt, man?" Marcus refreshed his banking app once again. His account still showed the money. "I don't know, man, but something is weird." Kevin responded, "I agree with you, Mark. Something is weird, but the bank told me it was real, So I'm accepting it as a financial miracle. I've already ordered a Lamborghini. Kevin, you what, man? Relax. I ain't paid for it yet. I just ordered it. Do not buy that Lamborghini. Why? Because the money isn't ours to keep. There's an error somewhere, or someone is setting us up somehow, because why us too? Kevin paused. Maybe somebody at the job is trying to get us to take heat for him. Whatever it is, I'm not going to be a part of it when the cops come, Kevin. Marcus' phone buzzed. A text message from an unknown number read, 5 million deposit to you is legit, but don't spend it just yet. Wait for the green light. Don't call the bank again. Marcus' eyes got wide. He stared at the number and the message. What was going on, he thought. Hey, Kev, just got a text message that said it's real money, but not to spend it until we get the okay, and not to call the bank again. Just got that message too, bro. This was becoming a big problem, Marcus thought. For the first time, the possibility of actual danger entered his mind. Marcus stopped breathing for a second. He walked over to the window and peeked out. Nothing out of the norm was occurring in his neighborhood. He checked his locks anyway and went to sit down in his living room. Another message came through his phone. Spend no less than $500,000. You have until midnight to do so. Marcus kept staring at the screen. He immediately told Kevin, Did you get that text? Kevin responded, Yeah. Spend at least $500K by midnight. Marcus stood back up. His nerves were completely shot, and he was far from a scary person. All this money had him shook like he never experienced. Okay, Kev, that's it. We're calling the police, man. Kevin laughed nervously, then paused. Wait, Mark, there's another message. Marcus waited to hear what Kevin was about to say. Kevin's voice changed as he read it. Tell anyone and the money disappears. This is not a scam. Marcus immediately received the same message. He looked at his account once again. The $5 million was still there. Kev, man, let's meet at Honey and Hash Diner in an hour. We got to figure this out. By 11 o'clock that morning, Marcus and Kevin were sitting in the diner trying to figure out what was happening. They had made a decision. They weren't spending the money as the messages instructed. At least not yet. Just then, a waiter walked up to their table and handed them a note. He smiled at them and walked away without a word. The note read, You've both been selected to participate in a test. It's a very simple test of choice and consequence. The instructions are simple. Spend $500,000 each by midnight, or the money will be taken from your accounts and the consequences of your actions will begin. This is insane, Marcus said, slamming his fist on the table, startling the patrons who sat near them. He looked over to the waiter and yelled, Hey, my man, who gave this to you, man? Who's responsible for this prank? The waiter simply shrugged and kept working. Yo, Mark, settle down, man. Let's just do what the people say do. What could it hurt? Kevin said, looking over the note again. Marcus was so frustrated. He didn't understand what was happening or why it was happening. Now someone was following them and leaving notes where they were. This whole thing was crazy. It could hurt a lot, Kev. Then his friend said the words that changed everything. What if this is our one chance? Marcus looked at him and raised his brow. One chance for what? To do anything, Mark. Fulfill our dreams and desires. They sat in silence. Then Marcus stood up. Nah, if this money is to be spent, I'ma spend it on other people. Just in case this is a trap. At least I spent it on doing good for others. Good idea, man. Good idea. They went straight to the grocery stores and spent the first $20,000 on strangers' groceries. An elderly woman started crying. A single father that was with his 7-year-old son stared at them like they were crazy, but he was thankful. A girl about 20 years old called her mother and said, "Mom, these two guys just randomly paid for the everything you asked me to get." For the first time all day, Marcus smiled. He felt really good helping others. Maybe this was the test, he thought. Maybe whoever was behind this wanted to see whether they would become greedy. So they kept going. Next stop was the mall. They bought people's clothes, food, and other purchases and services. They began talking to people and learning of their stories and their struggles. They gave people money for their medical bills and some towards their school tuitions. They paid off a waitress's student loans. They found out a few people who needed their cars repaired. They found people who needed home improvements. They paid rent and utilities for people. They even gave a couple who was facing foreclosure $50,000 to pay off their arrears and to get them back on their feet. Then something strange happened. People started filming them. Within a couple hours, videos of Marcus and Kevin were all over the internet. A particular viral video was viewed with a caption that read, "Mystery men give away thousands of dollars to strangers." Millions of people were watching. Marcus's phone exploded with notifications. Then, Marcus received another text from his bank. "You have received a deposit to your account in the amount of $2 million. Marcus stared at it with his mouth hanging open. He leaned over and whispered to Kevin, "Another deposit just came in. There's more money." Kevin checked his account and cursed in joy. "Woohoo! Yeah!" Marcus's phone buzzed right after. Same unknown number as before. "I've seen the videos. Good work. Keep going. Here's $2 million more for your good deeds." By 6 p.m., Marcus and Kevin's story was everywhere. People were calling them heroes. People were wondering who they were and where they came from. Reporters and paparazzi began to follow them around the mall. Daytime shows were calling for interviews and guest appearances. Strangers were lining up and crowding around them, asking for money and favors. A woman in her 30s grabbed Kevin's arm. "Can you help me, please? My young daughter needs surgery, and I can't afford to pay the hospital the balance after my insurance paid their portion." Marcus's heart sank. "How much do you need, ma'am?" $46,000. He looked at Kevin. Kevin nodded with compassion and approval. Marcus handed her a stack of cash, and the woman collapsed into his arms, crying. "Oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much. I didn't know what I was going to do. God sent you to be an angel to my family. Thank you, thank you." And suddenly Marcus realized something. This wasn't a game anymore, at least not to him. Real people were depending on him. He and Kevin were the answer to so many people's prayers. Just this morning, he was amongst those who needed a financial miracle. And now, even as he still had financial needs, he was helping others get their needs met. At 9 p.m., his bank texted him again. "You have received a deposit to your account in the amount of $3 million. Then another text. "People's lives are changing, including yours. 3 million more sent." Marcus looked at the phone in total disbelief. Then he looked at his friend. Kevin said, "What?" "It's rewarding us." Kevin frowned in confusion. "What do you mean?" "Every time we spend money helping someone, they give us more." Kevin slowly smiled. "So?" Marcus looked around at the crowd. What if they aren't testing whether we're greedy? Kevin stopped smiling. Then what are they testing? Marcus stared at his phone. What about the choices we make when there's unlimited money? By 11 p.m., they had returned to Marcus's apartment. They counted up all the purchases and cash giveaways and discovered that together they had given away almost $1.5 million, exceeding the original instruction of $500,000 each. In that moment, they both realized something. The messages had stopped. Marcus and Kevin waited, but there was nothing. He texted the number, no answer. Maybe it's over, Marcus said. Marcus checked his account. He still had over $8 million in his account. So what are we supposed to do with all the rest of this money? Will this start all over again tomorrow? Marcus said, plopping down on his couch with a can of soda. He handed Kevin one. Kevin smirked. I don't know, Mark, but my Lambo is still sitting in my cart. They both laughed. At 11:38, Marcus and Kevin's phone finally buzzed. A text with an address and a message that said, "Come to this address now." They were hesitant, seeing as how it was a home address they didn't know and almost midnight, but they drove there anyway. The house was massive with a circular driveway and a fountain in the front. It was completely dark inside, but the front door light was on. There was also another parked car in the front. They looked at each other, brows raised. We doing it, man. But if this is the night we die, just know I love you, man. And your friendship this past 15 years has been great. Kevin dapped up Marcus, who laughed. Shut up, Kev. But I love you too, man. Before they could ring the bell, it opened and a man let them in. He guided them back to the back of the house, where two other men sat at a table. Marcus looked around. What is this? Who are y'all? The guy who let them in smiled. Congratulations. On what? Marcus said. You passed. Marcus stared at him. Passed what? All three guys smirked and looked at Kevin, who was still smiling from ear to ear. Marcus, have a seat, man. Let's talk. Marcus stared at Kevin, confused. What's going on, Kev? Sit down. I'ma tell you. The guy who opened the door passed Marcus and Kevin a glass of something poured from the bar, the same drink the other men were drinking when they walked in. Marcus slowly sat down. Mark, a man doesn't meet too many good people in his life, much less be able to call them best friend. You, Mark, are my best friend, and I couldn't ask for another one better. Marcus kept listening, still confused. Mark, I've been keeping something major from you, and it ain't been easy, but I had to in order to make extra sure I was making the right decision. Kev, man, what's this about? What secret? What decision, man? Kevin put his drink down and put his hand on Marcus' shoulder. Mark, I won the lottery, man. $72 million to be exact. And today's events, all this was all me. I had all of this orchestrated and pretended to be just as confused as you to keep the gag going. What? Marcus said confusingly. Kev kept going. Meet my team. My lawyer, Steve, my financial advisor, Tony, and my realtor, Doug. Oh, by the way, this is my new house. Marcus couldn't speak. He just ingested a lot of information that he needed to process. Taking a long sip of his drink, he finally spoke. So, the text messages, the deposits, the money, was you? Yeah. Well, at first, yes. But once we were together, I had to get Tony here to start communicating because I couldn't risk you seeing me text you. He has been depositing money into your account all day from my account. But why the mysterious text messages this morning and a note at the cafe? I had to make it seem dire to get you to go along. And you know I'm a little dramatic, man. I'm confused, Kev. Go along with what? Marcus, listen to me. I'm a multi-millionaire. From now on, my life will be very different. I gotta know who I can really trust. We've been through some heavy stuff together over these past 15 years, and even in that, I had to make sure you wouldn't try and take advantage of my wealth. I'm also starting a business that I really want you to partner with me on. You smart with numbers, dog. A hard worker, and you've shown without a doubt that you care about people today. So I know you'll take care of our clients. We can be done with these jobs at the company and go into business for ourselves. You more than just my friend. Mark, you my best friend. You my brother. What do you say? Marcus didn't move for a second and then suddenly smiled and teared up. Man, you know I'm down. Congratulations. This is all way too much, but awesome at the same time. Man, Mark, our lives will never be the same. They hugged and cried. So, I'm a millionaire, huh? Marcus said to Kevin, who nodded and patted him on his back, smiling hard. If my math is correct, bruh, you got about $8 million right now. But my intention was to give you, my brother, 10 million. So here you go. Kevin handed Marcus a check for $2 million. Oh man, you've done enough for me. Too much, in fact. This is more money than I've ever seen or had in my life. I don't even know what to do with it all. Marcus, you have been there for me and my family through everything. You've more than proven you deserve this, bruh. Enjoy it. Save it. Buy something you've always wanted. Help your mom and your sister. Man, just enjoy it. If I'm right about this business, you're going to see even more money real soon. Marcus took the check and hugged Kevin again. Thank you, man. Thank you. You don't know what this means. I could never repay you for this. Kevin laughed. Just agree to be my business partner and let's get even more wealthy. Let's do it. Kevin held up his glass and the others all followed. Cheers to new wealth, new businesses, and new dreams. Let's go, baby. The 5 men cheered and drank. Marcus looked around the circle of men and smiled. For the first time in his life, he wasn't worried about making it to the next paycheck. He was finally in a position to build the life he wanted, help the people he loved, and do something that mattered.